We are top of the league, so we are top of the league. We are top of the league, so we are top of the league. Russ from the West Ham Network. A happy, buoyant Russ. I hope you are safe and well. Albeit I can't get rid of this cough that everyone's got. Everyone I've spoken to, how are you? I've got this cough. Can't get rid of it. Can't get rid of it. So I do apologise if I start coughing halfway through. Happy Friday. Congratulations, everybody. You've done another week. Well done. And a week closer to the big man coming down the chimney, innit? Oh yes, oh yes. If you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Don't forget, we've got our what we got? We've got our Christmas thingy-jig. What is it? Our Christmas giveaway. That's it. Our Christmas giveaway. Day 15 today, which is Nobby Solano, the Peruvian trumpeter himself. What a free kick! It was his birthday a few days ago as well. So Nobby's on. Nobby's on. So all you got to do is very, very simple. You literally have to just watch the video, obviously like and comment on it. That's literally all you have to do. You being a subscriber helps because it means we can contact you to let you know you've won. But that's all you've got to do. Obviously, we've had 14 winners so far. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got this week's winners all here, which I'm going to put in the post tomorrow from my friend, the postman, who's a subscriber, which is nice. So he's going to come pick them up for me tomorrow, and they're going to go out to you. So hopefully you all should get them before Christmas, if not just after Christmas. But we'll keep going. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. Anyway, as I said, feel free to yeah, as I said, and try it. A little tidbit, little tip. Try responding to each other's and putting multiple comments in and stuff like that. 'Cause I think that gives you more chances because it's like there's a remove duplicates option which is unticked, which is so have a go. Jan, good afternoon to you. Maltese, how about you? Well, Fridays are better after Thursday when they are indeed. The only thing with Fridays are from a Thursday is we've already had the Dave Moyes press conference. Had it this morning. Go and check it out at Hammer's Headlines. Not much to talk about. Report, in all honesty, because the players haven't even turned up yet. So there we go. How exciting. We're going to talk about the game, obviously. I wasn't worried and thought we'd get the result and play well. The Fulham game was a blip. Do you know what? I was really worried. I was really worried at the beginning, leading up to the game. I thought, obviously, you've got Freiburg are in a decent vein of form. Nothing great, but in a decent vein. They're a similar position to us in the Bundesliga. I think they were like 8th to win 9th. Similar sort of like goal difference and very, very similar scores. But they'd obviously done well at, was it Wolfsburg? I think they beat away from home the weekend. Obviously, we had the Fulham game. We had the sickness bug. We had all that. And I thought it's just piling up. And, it can go one or two ways. And I thought it was going to go the way we weren't going to plan it to. But what can we do? What can we do? Sometimes like that, random things like that just happen. Random things like that. And obviously, I'm going to say happy birthday to Bill Gardner. It's his birthday, 70. We had Bill on the channel ages ago, but go back and check that out. But anyway, it's Bill's birthday. It reminded me to say happy birthday to him because he always watches. He tells me he does. If he does, it's another thing, but he tells me he does. Was really surprised. Garina, good afternoon to you. Morning, guys and gals. We played Tiki Tak. We did. What is the world coming to? The end is nigh. The end is nigh. Moyes was playing Tiki Taki. Particularly that second goal. That was a beautiful goal, wasn't it? A beautiful goal. Anyway. Tom, hope you're well. Surreal, good afternoon. Surplus has joined. Congrats. Afternoon, Pete. Hope you're well. Need any type of in? Yeah, we do, mate. We do. It goes so quickly. There's so much coming on. There's so many games. It's just bosh. It's mental. It's just crazy. And obviously, the return of Ballon Dawson and Gary O'Neill to London Stadium. Well, not London Stadium. Gary O'Neill played when we was at London, Upton Park. You know what I mean? No, I think it's great. I'm looking forward to getting Ballon Dawson and give him a clap. Give him a clap, innit? Hell freeze over before I win anything, Russ. Well, you never know, Michael. Every day, every day. Ludders won. Ludders never wins. Ludders won, didn't you, Ludders? Moyes always pulls out a bag when he needs it. You're totally right. It's always those games where he's had 4 or 5 games in the last sort of 18 months, which is if he loses this, he's sacked. It's always those games he turns up. He gets a result. And it's like, I think the next question is, why the fuck can't we do that every game? Now, obviously, the opposition, I was speaking to Martin, the commentator. Martin's friend is a Freiburg season ticket holder, and he was basically saying to Martin, don't worry about the game, because for them, they're seeing this as a bit of an adventure. They didn't think they'd qualify out of the group. They thought they might finish third and get into the conference, and so they'll take anything. So, it was like their priority is the league. It was just... I was really disappointed with Freiburg. I really was. I thought they're going to come out. They're going to come, balls on the line, just go for us. And, if particularly having lost 5-0, our confidence would have been shot. If they come up and really had a go for the first 15 minutes, they'd have won that game. I'm pretty sure they would have, or have a bloody good chance. But they didn't. And then I thought, okay, well, we scored. Great. Okay, means they have to come out of their shell. They didn't. And then we scored again. I thought, well, second half, that's it. They're going to come out of their shell. They didn't. I think they probably had 1-2 decent chances the whole game. I was very disappointed. Can see Lobok defending against Scousers and possibly tomorrow. We're playing Sunday. Don't turn up tomorrow, Peter, because there'll be no one there. On Sunday, possibly for Sunday, I think we will back to normal. As you say, have the faith. They were top goals in Europe. Didn't see anything that scared us. But then most of those come from guys like they turned over TSB like 4 or 5-0, didn't they? They did turn over those sides quite a lot, both sides. So I've got my WhatsApp on, and I've sent Chris a GIF, and it's giving me an epileptic fit. Let me go and change it. That's it. Sorry, it's in my eye, just like that all the time. Sup. Man, big fan from Sydney, Australia. I'm shipping up to Boston. Love it. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining us, mate. If you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share. So don't forget also down there's a join button. Become a channel member, and you get entered into memorabilia draws every month. So obviously we're doing this thing every day at the moment. We're day 15. I don't know. Something from the pile over there. What a big nice pile of signed photos and things like that, which I'll just pick one up, post it out to you. Could be anything. Do all of Alvarez now get annulled? I don't know. It's a great shout, Garino. It's a great shout. Did he get booked yesterday? Was that 3 games in a row he's played? He hasn't got booked. Don't know. Tommy B's in the chats. So we got 2. Is Simon in? I don't know. Is the three Budden brothers, the Holy Trinity, turning up? Actually, there's 4. Got Will as well, but he never turns up. He's too busy on a boat. These Freiburg fans. Do you know what? They are, in my opinion, the best fans we've had at the London Stadium. Away fans. They were phenomenal. Them and closely followed by Freiburg. Freiburg were brilliant. Not Freiburg, they were Freiburg. Viborg were very good. But these guys were fantastic. And what I loved about them, if you was at the ground, they had English chants as well. You're shit and you know you are. They were singing, you only score when you're winning. All the, you can't, I think Shaw made a point, you can't bring a bottle cap into London Stadium, but you can bring a megaphone. This guy had a megaphone and it was brilliant. And then at the end, they were there for ages. And I put a thing on Twitter and we put the short on here and it's been all over, being circulated. Them singing Last Christmas to themselves. And it was like the whole ground was empty. They were singing Last Christmas. They were fantastic. And I'm going to keep an eye out for Freiburg in the Bundesliga. They might be my side because they're sort of similar levels to us in the Premier League at the moment. So Freiburg are my new Bundesliga side. I've never won anything before. I won, so I couldn't believe it. See, Peter's won as well, Michael. So you have little faith. Afternoon, KP. Please, we have avoided extra playoff games. Good performance, and hopefully same again on Sunday. Exactly. Obviously now, and we do a little bit this afternoon. I do a little show about Europa League and stuff. Now we don't play again, obviously, to March. We go into the last 16 like we have done for the last 2 years or third year now running. As part of that, we will play one of the playoff winners. So we don't play any of the group winners. So we won't play Brighton or Liverpool or anyone who's won their Europa League group. We're playing one of the playoff winners. So, the likes of AC, I don't know. AC Milan play Freiburg and AC Milan beat Freiburg. We could be joined against AC Milan in the last 16. But regardless of that, we will play our second leg at home, which will be the 14th of March. The away leg will be the 7th of March. And that's going to be drawn, I think it's like the 20, might have been the last day. It's like 26th or 28th of February. It's the Friday. I'll tell you exactly what day it's going to be drawn. It's going to be drawn on the 23rd of February. That'll be drawn. And it'll be for 2 weeks after that. So, and we'll do the live stream and stuff like that as per usual. As part and parcel of that, we get £1.1 million, 1.1 million euros on top of the $500,000 or something like that we get for each win for winning the group. We also get another 1.2 million euros in prize money for reaching the last 16 as well. So, financially, it's very beneficial. And if it means, and that's what I don't understand about when Moyes threw the Olympiacos game back in Olympiacos for the Everton game, because actually, financially, that Olympiacos game, if we'd won that game, we'd have already been qualified and we could have played rest of the kids today. We could have played the kids yesterday and then had a full rested squad. And also, it's almost like he went full squad, full side for the Freiburg game financially, and also from the sporting perspective, it's a lot easier to, if we won that game, it's better than to win against Wolves. Of course, I'd like to win against Wolves, but if you had to sort of, substitute one for the other, obviously financially, 2 million quid pretty much we've got for that one win, and obviously it means we miss February and we've got to clear up. We could win the Carabao Cup by then. We could be winners of the Carabao Cup by the time we play Galatasaray in the next round. I don't know. How can we be so good in Europe and pretty average in the Premier League? It's the quality of opposition. Partly, but I just think Moyes' style of football seems to work. I mean, apart from yesterday, he does seem to grind out the results very consistently in Europe. It's a slower pace of game. Yes, maybe the opposition's not as physically fit, maybe. I don't know, but it does always seem that. We did totally outplay. Fair play to last night. Didn't think their team turned up. Their fans were unbelievably totally right. Shame Kudus is off to the African nations. Depends how long the African nations, Cup of Nations happens in terms of how long Ghana are in there. Also, don't forget we do have a 2-week winter break in January, at the end of January. So it's only going to be no more than, I think, 4 games or maybe 5 tops where we would potentially have some some of the players not available. That's not all the players, because not everyone gets the final. Although see Kudus versus again in the final now, that's what will happen on it. But so, obviously teams get knocked out and stuff like that. So we'll see. Only problem I had yesterday was that there was in the way hand. Always is, Fred. Unfortunately, if people don't buy the tickets, then anyone can buy them. It's interesting what happened with we had Demetrius, was it Demetrius from Gate 7 International? He was saying that many people were buying tickets in the West Ham ends and were getting them refused because they had Greek sounding surnames. So maybe the German surnames aren't as easy to detect. I don't know. Good morning, Wally. Hope you're well. Good win, but let's be fair, we should beat these teams back to Mike. You got beaters in front of you, mate. Anton went through the numbers in Europe. Very impressive. And we've played, and that includes the likes of Sevilla, Lyon. That includes the likes of Fiorentina. Play some good Olympiacos. These guys are, they are pedigree international European sides. They are really, aren't they? I mean, they've all gone to the latter stages of, Sevilla's won it half a dozen times, and we did the job on them anyway. We didn't get any all corners. Interesting. Yes, I did, Peter. I recorded it. I was the one who recorded it and put it up everywhere. So there we go. I know. Love singing Oasis songs. I sang along to Sweet Caroline as well. TV Smith has joined the chat nicely. GP, good afternoon to you. I think Ghent, when they came, were quite good. Yeah, they're quite good. What odds can you get a Rangers West Ham final? Well, maybe we'll get the final we should have had in it. If it went for Aaron Cresswell. Only score when you're winning, Russ. Only Sing when you're winning, yeah. Welcome back, Ballon Dawson, as long as he doesn't listen as a shocker, indeed. Thoughts on Wednesday? Fred, I want to get Sunday out of the way, then we'll talk about Wednesday. Liverpool rest players, but have a bench full of the big guns to bring on. They will. Obviously, they play Man United this weekend. They play Arsenal next weekend, so that's a priority for them. So they will be putting out a lessened side up from the start. Maybe, I mean, a bit like it happened to Arsenal. If we have a real go at them, by the time they bring on their big guns, it might be too late. What would be the minimum has to get? Quarters or semis? Quarters? I think quarters. Depends what you're playing it. It's luck of the draw. I mean, don't forget the last time was in Europa League. We had Sevilla, which probably looked out. I mean, turned them. We beat them. And having that second leg at home is critical. For sure. And then obviously Leon. We thought Alcon did a job over there. And the Eintracht Frankfurt didn't quite go to plan, but I think we should be looking at. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that drop down, but don't forget they are good. It's the same other. I've just said, oh, it's Sevilla, Leon. The teams that dropped out from the Champions League have finished third in their Champions League groups. They're not obviously that good at the moment, are they? Or they might have a really tough group like AC Milan, but still, AC Milan aren't the side they were. Galatasaray, always a tough place to go to, but they finished third in their group, so that's why we'll be playing them potentially. So we'll wait and see. We have to think about it till February now. So we can now afford a striker's left leg with current prices, indeed. Europeans play slower. They can't handle the fast pace. And a couple of Freiburg fans end up shaking hands with them after the goal and they bother. Yeah, I think you always will do, but I just thought it was really good. It was nice. We had loads of police there. What was quite funny was by the time they'd left, everyone. I was there for a little bit, and they were still there when I was there, when I was leaving. And then they left, and they went down to down the Pudding Mill Lane bit. And obviously, then you had everyone coming out of ABBA. So it's just like such a bizarre. They're singing Last Christmas, and they got the other people coming and singing Waterloo. Mental. Hope Craig is. He's not, unfortunately. He's not. We haven't, unfortunately, interviewed Craig Dawson just yet. We will do one day. Finally, Ruby, yours is here, all ready to be sent out. It's all sent out on Saturday. Finally able to go to a game, and sad I had to leave about 10 minutes ago because I needed to get the train, but still had a great day. Yeah, can't wait to go again. There we go, Jack. Very good. And how many games recently have we not? Has it just been like comprehensive? It was just a comprehensive game, wasn't it? We seemed, for me, I came out of the game thinking, we had a good game. It was like it was easy. It was simple. It was relatively routine. And yeah, we could have maybe got another goal. We could have easily got one or two more. Obviously, Paqueta hit the crossbar right in the first 2 or 3 minutes. That probably set the tone really. Bowen got a goal which was chalked off well for offside. Maybe should have done a bit better getting back onside. If I'm splitting hairs, but it was just really competent. It was like, and after Sunday's debacle, that was the last thing I thought we'd do. I thought we might eke out an 89th minute winner, but we pretty much bossed the game from beginning to end. And it's like, I don't think Freiburg came to party, by all accounts, but yeah, it was all right. My pleasure. GP's got his prize. Yeah, yours is here as well, GP. That's going to be sent out on, when the postman comes tomorrow, and we'll send them all off, because who goes to a post office nowadays? They come to you. It's easy. You just go, yeah, come to me. And he prints, and he's a West Ham. He's a subscriber. Lovely chat. We have a little chat, and he just sits here and he goes and puts the stickers on for me. All done. Russ, do we need comp? Yes, we do. I don't think it's comp. I think it's cover. Audi, and I've always said that. That's the one thing I want us to look at in January, is to bring in someone who can play that job, who can do that role, because Alvarez is going to be he's in the thick of everything, and therefore he's going to get injured, he's going to get suspensions, and he's going to be knackered. And for sides where maybe he can have the day off, having someone, when we don't have a CDM like an Alvarez, our midfield is so weak. I think it was the Olympiacos away game where they literally walk through. And Pablo Fornes isn't the person to do that job. JWP's not. Souček's not. You need someone who's either, I said it before, he's either booking in their career. I don't, you want someone to come in who's going to accept that they're not going to be number one in that position, but they're going to play 15, 20 times maybe that season with the cup games, with, coming off the bench, tying the game up, that type of role. And they're either going to be new and coming into the game, or maybe sort of the 28, 29, and you pick them up for a few million quid. Not necessarily the Steinton sort of model, but as I said, he brought in Granit Xhaka. And did he bring Xhaka? Or looking at Leverkusen, they've got Granit Xhaka, who doesn't fit that profile of the Leverkusen model, but he's been phenomenal for them. That's what they need. Shane Paqueta didn't score that chance, indeed. Never felt like going to concede. Yeah, me neither. That might be the third or fourth time this season. As I said, we had a good game. Heady days. I know, mental. Hannum and Hart, when the ball was just shepherded out and Fabs didn't pick it up, he didn't need to. And then Fabianski knew what was going on, and he turned around, looked at Dinosh, and went, "Look." And they explained what was going on. You can see the difference when Paqueta is enjoying the game, tricks to the extreme, and he gets the rest of the lads going. When we're winning the game, the flicks and tricks work. I mean, even fucking Sufat was getting involved in the first half with a little drag back heel. Like, what are you doing? But it's when they come off, they're great. They're good when they come off. Do we bring Tommy B? Do we bring Downs for the role? I don't know if Downs is the right player. I'll be honest, T. I don't know. And I think he is more suited to be playing. For me, I think we got him for the quota, for the homegrown quota, because we bought a lot of like foreign players that year. The likes of Alvarez. We bought in Paqueta, Skarmaka, Tilo Kira, and I thought there wasn't many British players, so I thought that's why I got Flynn in. And for 10 million quid or whatever, we didn't spend a lot of money on him. I think he'll be better potentially as a make weight for us to bring in Carl Walter Peters. That's what I would like to do in January, or use Danny Ings, because I think he would make a big difference. But that CDM role, yeah, I just don't know. I always see Downs as slightly more of a ball player as a replacement for JWP rather than necessarily as a CDM cover. Or you look at promoting up from the youth. Hello, that's an idea. But maybe someone like Lewis Orford. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder, though. There's a young lad, and he's a young lad. He was the captain, who was a CDM. He was like a terrier, but he was about 3 foot nothing on last week, but he was quite good fun. With the games coming, how key is from around, very key, Mandy, very key. You got to think we've got 3 games now in. Well, we've got Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, so 3 games in 6 days, or 7 days ish, and then we've got 5. Then we've got a gap, got a 5-day gap, haven't we, until the 28th, and playing Arsenal. Mental. So yeah, it's very key. Feel a bit sorry for JOP. He's not the player that came from Southampton. Great player though. I thought he was yesterday, Ruby, when he was playing 10. Different player. Neto defo out for Wolves. Well, he is at the moment. I was looking at the thing today. They've got up to 5 out, but they won't have 5 out because a couple have got late fitness tests. But Neto is 50-50. So we'll see. How about a clean sheet? And another clean sheet and another win for the captain, Fabianski. Are we now much stronger on the right hand side with Kudus than left? Yes, we are, because Paqueta's not a left wing. I was thinking about it the other day. For me, Paqueta playing on the left actually helps out Emerson, because it frees up. There's so much space on that left hand side now, because he's coming inside. Everyone, they're tracking Paqueta in. So Emerson is he's got so much space in front of him, so much clear pitch in front of him to run into. But we just don't seem to. JDP's not great marking space, much better chasing players further down. Yep, totally agree. Totally agree, Audi. Right, Wolves have been losing games by 1-0 margins. We haven't got the best overall record against Wolves in the Premier League. I was just looking at it for the stat attack on Sunday, and not as good. I always thought there was a period. I think sort of the early Wolves when they were like Wolves are riding high, where we lost like three or four on the spin consecutively. We haven't played that many games against them in the Premier League, obviously. I think about 17, and not great. But anyway, Michael has been here for 3 months, 4th by New Year. Congrats. Audi's gone for a Desmond Tutu. Right. C. Phillips first move to Newcastle, which is great, as I don't think he's worth the effort. I totally agree. Phillips, actually, though, think about it. If it was like Phillips as that sort of CDM role, could be useful. But he'd always get injured when we needed him. He'd be injured. And when we didn't need him, he'd be fine. Anyway. Where does Kudus play when a striker is bought? When a striker is bought. When indeed. Hope you're well. Everyone's talking about Ruby. Right, let's do the ratings quickly. Let's zoom through these as always. I'll give you my ratings. You disagree with them. Simple. Right, Lucas Fabianski, let's get your comments in. Let's get your scores in the chat. No points for half points here, please. Thank you very, very much. So for me, where's my bits of paper? There we go. For me, I mean, yeah, did the job, didn't he? Did the job. I mean, another clean sheet. He's a goalkeeper. He's going to keep a clean sheet. He kept a clean sheet. Good save off Duan, and Variola back on the bench. It'll be, I imagine, Fabianski will be dropped for that game, and will be all ready for the game on Wednesday. I talk about Fabianski's contract status this afternoon. Quite interesting news from X on that. Let's see what we've got in the scores on the doors. We've got 7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 8. 6, nothing to do. 8, 7, did make one good save. 8, 7, 6, not much needed from him. 7, 8 plus 1 for the clean sheets. Makes a change. He's playing football indeed. Max difference. 7. No. Budge, hope you're well, my friend. 7, 7. So it looks like 6s and 7s. Spirit 6s and 7s. Rusty B gave him a 7. Let's move on and talk about Vladimir Sufal. Hello, Mr. Vladimir Sufal. Hope you are well. Wait, Mrs. Bud. It's bloody dropping off to the hairdresser. Sorry about that. Sufal, I thought he played okay. Good game. Should have probably got his assist levels back up with that missed goal from old Jared. But yeah, a good game for Vlad. I'm going to stick in the corner. I quite like this better. A good game for Vlad. 7s. Well, you can't see him now. 7, 7, 7, 7. 8 thought it was one of his best games. 7, 7, 8, 7. Maybe I've been a bit harsh today. 8. Rusty B gave him a 6. Maybe a bit harsh. Let's move on. Let's zoom for everything. Let's talk about Dinos Mavropanos. Obviously, he, we zoom her out. He came in as always for these games. He needed he's had a couple of dodgy performances recently, so he did need a solid one. I thought he gave quite a reasonable a few stray passes. I think he was trying too hard with some of his, trying to defense splitting passes, but it was an okay game. Okay game for him, I thought. Did all right. God, everyone's been very positive today. 8s. Let's do this. There we go. 7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Oh, thankfully, Tom, thanks. I'll tell you for why. 8, 7s, 6 to 8s. I gave him a 6. Same as Jack. Sometimes haven't been passed. Yeah, that's what I thought. Sometimes his passing was a little bit out. He was almost trying too hard to get that killer ball through. Didn't quite make it. Let's talk about Agard now. Transitions for him and Agard look better. Yep, Michael, I like them as a two. I think they're quite dynamic as a two. There's definitely more mobile than him and Agard and Zuma, and they both can play as well and bring the ball forward. But yeah, they both have got a mistake in them, but so does everyone really. You've gone down to a 6 now. There we go. A lot of Scrooge. I think it's the other way round, GP. Everyone's been quite generous. Again, comfortable evening. Again, Freiburg didn't really do anything, to be honest. 7. I like what I like about again is sometimes he just drops the shoulder and has a go, and I quite like that. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 6, 6s, 6, 6, 6s, 6. You don't get it called out if you put a half point. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6s and 7s. Oh, maybe I've gone for a 6 because he wasn't tested. He wasn't really tested at all. Let's talk about Emerson back in the side. God, do we miss Emerson when he's not playing? Don't we? We just miss him so much. When he plays and Paqueta plays, the two just have this sort of telepathic understanding. It's brilliant. I love it. He's to me is one of the most important players on the pitch for us because of what he offers on that left hand side. Particularly as someone mentioned, the right hand side is like covered. That left hand side is quite open, and he brings a real sense of forward momentum, which is great. We've got 7s, 8. Our best defender of the season, agreed. 7, 8, 7, 7. Considering he's just come back from having neurovirus, or whatever, and anyone who's had it fucks you right up, and and as a professional footballer, it'll fuck you up even more because part of your job is running. I'm okay if I'm if I've got it, I've got a cough, I'm still working because I can still, but if you're got the shits or whatnot, and you're a professional football player, it's hard. 8, 7. Emerson's our best player every game. He's my hammer of the year at the moment. I don't think he'll get it, but he is. I gave him a 7. I'm a brave little soldier, Peter. Thank you so much. Starting to get confident for that now from others putting a shift in. You are right, but I think if you look at the season in entirety, Michael, for me, Emerson, he's up there. Let's talk about Alvarez, Edson Alvarez, another one who's come back from injury, who's come from having the shits, having the neurovirus, and now look, again, those two, I think Emerson and Alvarez are critical to how our side ticks. If we don't have either of them, we look a shadow of ourselves. And for me, yesterday was brilliant. He's not renowned for being creative and being a ball player, but the pass to Kudus for the goal, and just a little ticky tacky goal for his first ever West Ham goal was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And he has that, but that's the type of player I like. The fact is, he does the defensive work, but it's in his locker to bring it forward and do it. Not all the time because you'll get found out, but just once or twice in the game. Deck used to do it originally at the beginning. He'd do a lot of the blocking, a lot of the tough. He'll be almost playing as a third centre back, and then occasionally gets the ball, he can bring it forward, and that's what we want. Right, let's see what we got. We've got 8, 9, 9. 50 minutes was still man of the match. I totally agree. I think he was I just think he's great. And we look a shadow ourselves when he's not playing. 9, 8 from Tom. 9, 8, 8, 8, 8. So it looks all like 8s and 9s. Lovely. We haven't got to Bowen yet. Just wait a minute. Rusty B, 8 man a match for me. Not quite a 9 because he went off after half an hour to go. But yeah. Let's talk about JWP. JWP playing, as we said, a more advanced role, that 10 role, which is his role. That's where we got to know. Big 9 for me. Big 9. Thank you. He went off injured. He went off with a bang on the hip. So I hope he's all right. At the end of the day, he did walk off and he did come back on the pitch at the end. If it was that serious, he'd have been down the treatment room, wouldn't have come out to say hello to everyone at the end. But yeah, Bowen in his more advanced role, you know, and also, looking to run beyond Bowen sometimes. And so, and he brought a decent tempo. As when Alvarez went off, then he went into his shell a little bit because he had to do more of his defensive duties, which I don't think he can do very well, in all honesty. Sevens, eights. Much better playing forwards. Wasn't so good once he went off. I totally agree. I won't say Alvarez is taking away Sukic shot. I don't think he is. I think he's definitely more defensive midfielder. 6, 7s, 8s, 7s. Oh, why is he coming on now? I'll go in a minute. 7, 7, 7s, and I gave JOP a 7. Let's quickly zoom through like Donkey Kong. What do you want?
I'm coming on for a chat.
Oh, God's sake. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about Tommy Souček. Obviously, I mean, I think he had another bloody good game. I think he's had a bloody good game recently. Tommy Souček has last few games, obviously apart from the Fulham game. But I thought he had a good game. He just does a lot of this donkey work. He was in a slightly deeper role, and sort of he dropped off a little bit. I think when Alvarez came off, it seemed to be he dropped further and deeper back, and he's less effective. But yeah, I thought he played all right. What we got in the scores? Let's have a look. We got 7, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7 from J, 7 from TB, 6, 7, 7, 7, 6, 7. 3 on the ball, but off the ball 7, 7. Yeah, 7 and 6. Game of 7. Did the job he was asked to, goes unnoticed. He does, and I think when you watch the game, if you're at the game, I think you have a slightly different opinion than if you're not at the game. There's no disrespect if you're not at the game, but obviously the camera always follows the ball. Whereas if you're watching the game, from my vantage point, you see Souček basically everywhere, and he is. I mean, he's same as JWP. He runs fucking everywhere. Bless him. Right, let's quickly zoom through this. What we got next? Paqueta. Paqueta's no one better than Lucas Paqueta, our Brazilian man. If we go, the tricks were starting to come off a little bit more, weren't they? I thought, apparently he's been playing for injury the last few weeks. You can see that I think it was the last but one game when he went down, he was rubbing the sides of his shins, and they were going to make a sub straight away, but he was okay. So clearly, he's got an issue with his shins at the moment on the sides. So he's been playing through that for a while, but it was a better game for him. He seemed up for it. Obviously, nearly bloody broke the crossbar in half, really, in the first half. But again, a solid game from Piquet. I think everyone played solid. It was one of those games where people did enough to get through, and it was just really solid, really solid. I mean, sevens. Yeah, I think that's about right. Flicks and tricks. One mistake. There was one mistake in the second half where he did a flick and trick, then he ended up almost literally passing it to Adama, who nearly got into the goal, and you could see he was like, "Oh fuck!" But yeah, Baguette 7 from Ruby. Russie B gave him a 7 as well. Who else? Who we got next? We've got Mohamed Kudus. I mean, scored a fantastic goal, wasn't it? It was the 2 out Ajax boys doing the job. Obviously Kudus made the run, and Alvarez little dink over the top, perfect. They've probably been doing that in the Eredivisie all last season. Little dink, bosh. Really nice. But me and Anton, we rave about Kudus all the time. He's just got such a low centre of gravity. He's so physically strong. And we're going to miss him in January for hopefully Ghana have a shit AFCON. And he's back sooner rather than later. I mean, 8s and 9s, it goes without saying, he's a very good player. I suggested to Anton yesterday that we need European football next year to guarantee him staying with us rather than a big club coming in for him. Or the new manager might be enough for him, potentially, if the new manager comes in. But we have to make sure we keep an eye on him. 8's got the touch. Everything he's touched turns to gold. He does, yeah. He does seem to get the ball under his feet a few times. I mean, that goal, you watch it again, and it wasn't as clean in terms of his first touch as possible. But he does seem to sort of like almost overrun it sometimes. But fuck it, I don't care as long as he's scoring. Easily 100+ million. Wow. I gave him an 8 as well as everyone else. I gave Alvarez man of the match because he had a goal and an assist, and he had the shits on Sunday as well. So there we go. And lastly, let's go with Jared. Old Jared Bowen. You know, I like him. He's not a bad player, is he? I think sometimes I did say could have maybe been quicker in terms of offside, getting back onside for that goal. If I was really, really being nasty and splitting hairs, but lovely assist for Alvarez's goal. Should have scored. Should have scored. Missed a bit of a sitter at the end. Well, before he came off. But should have scored. But yeah, again, it just all works. And I love the fluidity. I like the fact that sometimes Bowen drifts off onto the right, Mohamed comes into the middle. Sometimes Bowen's on the left and Paqueta goes into the middle. And that's really hard for a defender or a defensive backline to keep an eye on, because maybe they're man marking, maybe they're zonal marking. And if they overload on the left or the right, then they're fucked. And he's playing himself onto the plane to Germany, for Euros at the moment. And if he continues in this trajectory, then wasn't his best game yet. I agree, TB. But 7, high 7s, 8s, 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 7s, 8s, 7s, 8s. Rusty B. I gave him an 8, but maybe a 7. Yeah. It's my own rules because I don't put half points in. It would have been a 7.5, but I don't do half points. There's no half points in this game. But yeah, right. Let me bring him in for a bit before I have to go. What do you want?
Just want to have a little chin wag.
You've already called me today. We've already spoken.
I know, but you love speaking to me, Russie B. And everyone in the chat.
Oh yeah, everyone else. Oh yeah, forgot about the other 100 or something.
Russ gets fed up. Russ, don't get fed up, mate. You're a friend. Friends talk. Friends talk, and I phone him. I phone him all the time, and he just like he answers the phone and goes, "What do you want?" I don't feel welcome
because he usually phones me about 9:26, and I have a 9:30 call every morning. So much so that I was talking to her, and Russ, are you trying to talk to us on the Zoom call? No, I'm on another phone. It's like
just listen. We've done the shows yesterday, and it's an interesting point actually you made there. And I know you weren't digging out anyone that doesn't go to the games. I know you were. I genuinely know you weren't.
No,
it's an interesting point because it's funny. I thought Souček played quite well yesterday, but some people don't think he played well. And I think it's probably more down to people's interpretation of the game, if I'm being really honest.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think because obviously what this last year has taught me is that people see different things quite dramatically. I could stand beside, for example, Nick from Claret and Brews and see something completely different to what he sees. And me and you can say that as well. So it's definitely down to interpretation and what people think is a good set, a good form of play to someone else isn't. And I thought Souček actually had a bit of flamboyancy about him yesterday. He had a bit of a skip in his step when he was playing, and a couple of those long balls. He's getting right into that. He's getting right into that rhythm of spraying those balls across.
He does it for the Czech Republic. You see some of his assists for the Czech Republic. He does that. He cuts in quite a lot. He's like, but yeah, no, I thought he seems to take Sunday out of the equation.
Yeah.
Last few games, they do seem to be a bit more about them, isn't it? There's more games which are surprising us that we're playing quite well than not surprising us. Obviously, you got the Arsenal game in the Cup. You had the game yesterday. I mean, the game yesterday, I hate the expression walk in the park, but it was a little bit like that.
Yeah. And I suppose the question I want to ask everyone in the chat as well is, and I said this to you, Russ, last night, and I'm really keen to see people's opinion on it. Because genuinely, for a while, I've heard, we've been due a smashing. Do we put down the Fulham defeat to it's what we've expected, it's what we as fans thought was coming, or do we put it down to the genuineness of being sick or ill? and having a depleted squad because of that. Because the more I'm starting to compute that loss and then looking at how we bounced back last night and seeing the things, it's easy for us to turn around and say, well, I've expected a 5-0 drubbing for 2 years, but it never came. Or I've expected West Ham to never get a 5-0 drubbing and it never came. Do you know what I mean? I'm just intrigued to hear. Yeah. I'm just intrigued to hear what people's opinions are on that situation.
I think it was catalyzed by the fact that we had the illnesses. But you're right. I mean, everyone's been, people say, that's been coming for the last 2 years. Well, it hasn't come until the last 2 years, and it came against Fulham. And as I said to you yesterday, usually most sides get 3 or 4 decent chances in a game, pretty much.
Yeah.
And usually 1 or 2 of them come in. That game, every shot they had went in. And it's like, as I said, it's just like a Nottingham Forest game last year where it was 0-0 after 70 minutes and it ended up being 4-0. Everything went in. And you get those, but I mean, the performance was crap on Sunday, and they took every chance they had. Which it could have they could have missed a couple of those chances. It'd have been 2-0, and then or 3-0. We'd have been, it's a shit game, but because it was 5-0, like, oh shit, that happens most games. Most games we could have.
And isn't it frustrating as well? Like when you listen to David Moyes and then you see people go, people got pissed off with his comments by saying, if he had said to me I'd take 3 points between Spurs and Fulham, then I would have taken 3 points because everyone wiped us off. It's Tottenham, but we just done it the other way around. We should have, in theory, in our heads, we should have taken the points off of Fulham and probably been smashed against Spurs, but we didn't. And it's just, at what point are we just going to keep that respect? Listen, things will change. They will.
Yep.
And listening to David Moyes' press conference, like he is hinting at that change, and I think he wants that change to come sooner rather than later. But he is right. Some of the things he says, which is we've got Alvarez and Kudus, and he still doesn't believe they're 100%.
No, yeah, but he always says that, doesn't he? Because his narrative is Premier League players first, rather than because it's always is, and it's that when he's like, oh, they're not ready, and he's always sort of, oh, they're not quite ready. He's not quite ready. He's like the Kudus thing now. It's like you and me said the other day. We can't have a West Ham side now without Kudus starting.
Mate, he's just like he's so phenomenal. He must be incredibly difficult to mark. I was a centre back when I played football, and I used to love coming up against anyone. Genuinely didn't bother me. Listen, I'm playing at a low level, right? Whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is it didn't matter the sort of player that you would play against. Like I quite liked a battle. I quite liked a little player who was quite tricky. He seems to be so backwards, he's forwards, he's unorthodox, he's everything. He knows what to do. He can drop a shoulder but cut inside, and he can drop a shoulder and cut back inside, and he's so clever. Sometimes it's doing the most basic thing, which is he collects the ball, he looks like he's going to turn and go at the defense, he stops, goes back, drives infield, and bang, the next thing you know, 2 wing backs have gone forward, and he's just opened up the play. Like he's really an exciting player, and I don't know how many goals that's been at West Ham since he's arrived.
I'll have a look. But that's what I said about him, and it's just he'll be 5 yards behind someone who's got the fullback who's got the ball, and within the split of a second, he's literally right on his ass straight away. Yeah. And you can't settle. You can't settle. So Kudus has got 7 goals for us now.
Peter said he does have a weird goal celebration, and he's definitely an exciting prospect and got a bright future, and I hope that we can utilize that and maximize him being at the club and getting far on, and Alvarez coming out of his shell.
That's 7 goals for him he's played 20 games for us this season.
Yeah.
In all competitions, and he scored 7 goals. Ain't a bad return.
I don't even know he's probably assisted a couple as well, is he not?
Probably, yeah. I only have his assists in the Premier League, but in terms of his goals, that's ain't bad.
So he's a really important player, but I suppose that comes down to now what happens when it comes to the AFCON. I mean, we're not going to be the only ones impacted, but I suppose the impact we're going to feel is going to be quite large because we're losing such an important player.
To start off with, yeah. I mean, the fact is, we're not all of our AFCON players will be obviously missing for the whole tournament because hopefully someone will have a shit tournament and come back early. But knowing I like it will be Algeria versus Ghana final. You just know it's going to happen. You just know it's going to happen.
And it's funny, a lot of people saying defensively, like last night was a good result. Well, do you know what? So many times we've had the discussion about Agerd, right? And Agerd doesn't really necessarily suit a low block defense.
No.
Because if Agerd does make an error, if he plays a high line, he's got the pace to come back and get the second chance at it. And if you play beside another defender who's capable of sitting further behind, then he's there as the second line of defense. And when Agerd plays that low block defensive style, I think that forces an error. Then it's too late. They're not gonna get the chance to eradicate any of the problems. So when West Ham actually, funny enough, when West Ham are not playing that low block, I know we run the risk, but defensively we work better defensively.
Yep.
We do. We genuinely do. But I get the consolidation because the Premier League's such a dog eat dog. A really good point again, Russ, and I think you said it once, but if you actually look at all the results between the leagues, like Newcastle beat Tottenham, Tottenham beat Man City, or whatever it is, Man City beat Tottenham, and Manchester United beat Newcastle, and Villa beat Man City, and West Ham beat Brighton, and Brighton beat Aston Villa, and then it just the league as a whole is extremely odd this year, particularly odd as a whole.
Definitely.
So you're getting really random results from teams all over.
It is. It's just such a strange. It's all a bit strange at the moment, you know. And as you said, you know, it's still not, you know, apart from the bottom three. You got to think. To be honest, if Everton hadn't got those points, they'd be one point below us in 10th, and you know, from us to Tottenham is 6 points. You know, and that's. And the way everyone's playing each other, that could easily just fuck up. Right,
just quickly, Peter. I did know that they drew. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head the results. So I know you need to go. So
I need to go. You can carry on. Carry on.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Carry on. Okay. All right then. We'll be back later on. Loads of stuff. Irish Tommy tonight, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Irish Tommy's tonight, I think. So keep an eye on that. We'll bring all that stuff in there. And until next time, for myself and for Mr. Baker, which is nice for a change. We'll do this more often. Come on, you bloody Irons. Stay still. And don't forget also Nobby Solano on the West Ham Network Advent Calendar video. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you comment on that. You can win some stuff. Much love. Top of the league, having a laugh. See you in March, Europe. Ta-da.